Author Interview with Angela R. Watts. Read by Ian Wilson and Sarah Levesque.
Hello. Tell us a little about yourself.
Hey there, I'm Angela R. Watts, the best-selling author of the Infidel books. I'm a freelance editor who loves working with her epic clients. When I'm not working, I'm raising animals, babysitting, or watching TV with my brother.
What is your latest book about?
4 unlikely companions must band together in order to escape the realm of bones and save their kingdom from a reign of darkness. That's the hook for Golgotha, my debut fantasy from Blade of Truth Publishing.
When did you start writing, and why?
I started telling stories when I was super small. I couldn't write, but I insisted my mom write my narration down, and I illustrated my first book at age 5 or 6. I never looked back or wondered why I wanted to write. It has always been a part of me.
How did you come up with the idea for this book specifically?
A combination of things. Previous story ideas, inspiration from a favorite biblical fiction series, a brief collab, and most of all, Jesus. Not everything I was inspired by made it into the story. It changed so much. So I'd say God helped me come up with the final ideas for this novel.
What was it like writing your first book?
I wrote my first book at a young age, as mentioned, and I wrote my first completed novella at age 12. It was fun, and there was no pressure because only a few people read it as it was serialized on my blog.
How was this book different than any of your others?
It was different in every way, I think, since I didn't plot it, didn't outline, didn't have any idea of what I wanted, didn't have any themes in mind. It was all for fun. I challenged myself to have a certain amount posted each month, though, so I've always liked deadlines.
How did you go about publishing your book? Would you do it that way again? Why or why not?
I know a few people who had self-published and followed their lead. While I do not regret publishing a novella at 16, I would have done it a lot differently if I had known better. The people I followed did their own covers, and the editor that was popular in the circle missed a lot. But I'm still happy I published then. I've just learned more about the craft and industry now.
What are you working on now?
I'm currently writing book 2 in the Remnant trilogy. I'm a third of the way finished, so if all goes well, readers can expect the continuation of Golgotha shortly. I'm also publishing The Mercenary's Deception, the Infidel Books number 3, this summer. Finding God in Anime, a devotion for otakus, releases this spring, and I have a few devos in this collaboration, and was one of the editors for it. I have a few more things brewing, but you'll have to follow along to see what else is coming.
Can you tell us about your other books?
The Infidel Books is a best-selling post-apocalyptic thriller series. The Divided Nation is endorsed by the New York Times and USA Today bestseller Lieutenant Colonel Rip Rawlings and the Real Book Spy. This series follows civilians and gangsters as they try to survive the Second Civil War and end it.
Why do you write?
Because I have to. Seriously. Writing is my ministry. It helps me reach people, challenge them, brighten their day, and so much more.
What helps you write? Music, pets, reading, specific pen, etc.?
I live in a bigger household and on a farm. I can't be choosy. As long as I have my music playlists, I can write about anywhere.
What has writing taught you?
It has taught me more than I can ever say. It has taught me to forgive and heal. It has taught me to let go. It has taught me to be bold. Each novel of mine contains themes or lessons that pain me to write. A piece or two of my heart is in every novel I publish. If I can't learn something from a story, if writing a story doesn't scare me, I don't do it.
Who are you inspired by in your writing?
Growing up, I adored Frank Peretti, Ted Dekker, and Francine Rivers. These 3 authors inspired me to write what God told me to, and dream big. Nowadays, I also respect and admire Robert Liparulo, Vince Flynn, and a few indie authors.
What is your advice for writers?
Write without caring what other people say. The only person you should listen to with your whole heart while working on a project is the Lord. So sit down, pray, and write. Don't allow distractions to take you away from the story God has placed in your heart.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Thanks so much for having me.